when I was 13 years old, the Moore tornado hit, and the devastation coming out of that was just...
Well, today I'm excited because we have Nikita Higbee, and she is with, this is a long name, the Team Interceptor Oklahoma National Response Group. What in the world is that?
So, it is a long name. We had to make it that way to avoid confusion with some other chasers. But really, when we do Storm Spot, our main function is to bring donations. We'll raise and bring donations to victims of natural disasters, and we also try to support local fire, law, EMS departments, people that respond to those emergencies as well.
And you were telling me before we started your backstory, how this happened.
Yes.
So tell us about Moore.
Sure.
Tornado.
And I guess I'll start from the top.
Yep.
So when I was 13 years old, the Moore tornado hit, and the devastation coming out of that was just terrifyingly awe-inspiring. I remember seeing pictures of pieces of straw stuck into cinder blocks and thinking, how on earth is that even possible?
Sure.
It was just incredible to me. And my church, they were still doing a thing called the Mormon Helping Hands at the time. They were getting a bunch of our youth together, the ones that were old enough, and to go down there and help with the cleanup. And I was just barely not old enough to go.
Got to be this tall.
I was. You had to be 14 or older, and my birthday was a month away, I think. And I was just barely not old enough to go. And so I begged and pleaded with my dad, with our leaders to let me go, and they just couldn't. And so they went down there, and I just swore up and down that day that anytime I ever got another chance, if I ever was presented with another opportunity like that to help other people, that I wouldn't miss it.
Right.
So fast forward to, the Stillwater fires. Is actually, I have a little brother that goes to school down there, and he was being evacuated. And so I was going to go down there and go get him if I needed to, which he ended up being okay. His house was all right. But I have a lot of friends also from church that lived down there. And I was worried about them too. And none of them lost their houses, actually. They were all okay, but some of their old neighborhoods and stuff that they lived in were just gone.
I was amazed with how big, we saw it on the news, but to see it in person, it
was something
surreal.
else. Yeah. There's a difference between watching it on the news, like you said, and actually being down there. It just tore my heart in two. And so I was at work actually, and I remember thinking, we got to do something. Like we have to go down there. We can't just sit here and watch it on the news and do nothing. And I remember thinking, man, but it's just so impossible. Like, we have so little time to get donations together. Like, I don't even know how to do a fundraiser. And I just felt like it was going to be okay. And that we needed to go down there. We needed to do something about it. And so that Sunday, we sat in my church's parking lot with a little sign that we made. At the time, it said disaster donations on it. And I had my little sister and her best friend sit on the tailgate of our truck with this sign. And as people came out of church, they were like, hey, what are you doing? And we kind of explained. And within 2 hours, we had raised over $2,000.
Wow.
Yeah. So for two hours, that's pretty good, I'm assuming. So we took that and we went to Walmart and we bought water. We bought Powerade. We bought snacks, food, everything you could think of that people might need. We didn't think of first aid kits, though, at first.
Yeah, who would have thought?
So,
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and it's pretty crazy. So we get down there and we started realizing, as we're handing this stuff out, that people needed first aid kits. So we still had some money left, and we ran to Walmart and we cleaned them out of all these little plastic first aid kits. We bought every one we could find. And the next day we did the same thing. We went house to house to house, and I kid you not, I've never seen something like this before. Every single person that we gave a first aid kit to needed it at that exact moment that we offered it to them. Wow. And it wasn't like they needed a major bleeding first aid kit. You know, it was just they needed something like, oh, my kid cut his knee while he was looking through the rubble, or I cut my finger on some glass while I was looking for my mom's old, you know, whatever it was. And I think we must have handed out, I think it was 200 or 300 first aid kits over the course of those 2 days.
Wow.
Yeah. It was a lot. Walmart was probably like, what the heck are these people
What are you doing
doing?
with these?
Yeah. You know, and it was very, very cool. I remember, you know, to this day, I remember feeling how impossible it was going to be. And then I remember feeling like somehow that it was going to work, that it was going to be okay, and that we were going to be able to do it. And, you know, that was back before Team Interceptor was even a thing. My truck was named the Interceptor at the time, but that's because it's named after the pirate ship from Pirates of the Caribbean, which is why it has little pirate decals on it.
I noticed that, yes.
Yeah, so it just stuck. And so we just left it that way because, you know, it sounded cool. But also, you know, if that ship from that movie it's a small, I think it's called a clipper ship. It's fast, it's light, and it can get places. And, you know, I have a little red Toyota Tacoma that we drive around. It's fast, it's light, and it can just get places. And so that was kind of the inspiration behind that. So, you know, a couple years later, we also did go to Guthrie as well, and that was very cool. We got to work with the Red Cross. They're amazing. They just do so much for people, and they're really, really cool as well.
And then there was something very recent.
Yeah.
We're going to get to that in just a
Yes.
second.
Yes.
Close to us. We're going to learn about the Woodward tornado that had some real issues with it.
Yeah, yeah.
So let's do this. Let's jump to a quick pay the bills commercial, and we'll be right back.
Every word is a step. Every balance is a step. Every cut is a step. Every helping hand is a step.
At Gonzalez Therapy, every little step today is a big step for their tomorrow. The future starts here with Gonzalez Therapy.
All right, and we're back. Nikita, now I know there was something really close to us.
Yes.
Just recently.
Yes.
In Fairview, was it?
Yes, it was in Fairview.
Yep.
As everybody knows, this side of the state doesn't usually get a lot of tornadoes. And at this point, you know, the Woodward fires and everything have burned through the Ranger Road, and we have officially become an organization. We're a fundraiser at this point.
Right.
And oh gosh, we went out that night. Actually, we were storm spotting. We saw one of the beginnings of actually one of those tornadoes. I think it was 7 that touched down that night. And we got home, and we found out that there were 2 people that were missing, and that they had been in the area that the Fairview tornado had touched down. And we knew that was bad.
Yep.
I was actually getting ready to get in my truck and go find out if they needed people to help look for this mother and daughter that had disappeared. And
now they were in their car, right?
They were in their car,
Okay.
yes.
Yep.
And so there was some hope at first that they would be found alive. And I don't know if you've ever seen what a car looks like.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But when it's picked up and tossed, it's never a good thing. And so they were found shortly after that, but they were not alive. And so we started fundraising for 2 weeks. Everything that we raised, we were going to give it to the Owens family, because they left behind a dad and some other siblings, and who I'm sure were just devastated by what happened. But we didn't know at the time that there was another bigger fundraiser that was going on, that Lacey Lowry had started, which was awesome. I think it raised close to $200,000 for their family. Yeah. So
Nothing like media power.
Yeah, it was incredible. It's just a testament to me of how when the community comes together, we can accomplish great things. And so we ended up sharing that fundraiser instead, which helped more, because we weren't having to send funds along with all these other things. It kind of consolidated it into this one thing. So they did a fantastic job helping them with that.
Wow.
it was pretty cool. And then one of the more recent things that we've done, I don't know if you guys heard about the Jumping Juniper fire down by Camargo.
Yes.
Yes. So I was actually about to start a new job. Both my partner and I work full time, so that everything that we do with Team Interceptor, everything that we raise goes 100% back into the organization.
Very cool.
We don't make any money. We don't benefit from this in any way. This is something that we do because we care. And so we were a little bit stressed about changes and stuff, and we were told by Northwest Fire Coverage, Oklahoma Fire Coverage, that VISI had a community center that was open for people that were evacuated. So our original plan was to go to VISI and bring some food and stuff to people that had been evacuated. And we got down there because we didn't have service most of the way. And we got to VISI and we realized that the community center had been closed and that people weren't evacuated anymore. They were good, which is awesome. I'm glad they didn't lose their homes.
Yes.
And so we just so happened to run into VISI's, their fire chief's wife. She told us, hey, you should take this down to Camargo. They probably need it more. So we turn around. I think it was Roger Mills Emergency Management. He actually escorted us in to the volunteer fire department down there. And boy, they needed it bad. And we were able to leave a whole trailer load of water, Powerade, canned chicken noodle soup with these guys. And they needed it. And they still do. These small volunteer organizations that are out there, these firemen that do this, that protect us on their own dime.
Yep.
At that, they need support really bad sometimes, and they ask for it, and a lot of times they get it, but it's just, they really do. They need a lot of support, and so we also try to help those guys as well.
A lot of people don't realize that the volunteer fire departments, although they may be getting paid like $6 an hour, they've left their job
Yes.
to do this,
Yes.
and so they're losing pay to helping others. And so anytime someone like you can come in and help them, if nothing else, know they're appreciated.
Yeah.
That's like a big deal.
Oh yeah,
That is
it was
really big
amazing. Dewey County Emergency Management and Roger Mills, they were incredible. We backed that trailer in and we left all that stuff right there on the station floor where they could get it. As far as I know, they're not a huge volunteer organization. Camargo is not a very big town.
Yeah.
So resources there can get tight. And so, that's why it's so important for communities to work together and to notice when others need help. Whether that's a volunteer fire department, whether that's, somebody that's just watched their home burn to the ground. One of the things at the Stillwater fires, I remember these two little boys that were walking by their house, and we asked them, hey, do you guys want a Powerade or something? And we had these little stuffed animals too that we had brought with us, and we still try to do this actually. But for just a minute, it distracted them from the fact that their whole home was gone.
Yep.
And I think that really is the mission of Team Interceptor, is to be there when others can't or won't. We're not firemen, we're not law enforcement, but we care. We're just regular, everyday people just trying to help others, and that is the message.
Well, and I appreciate you're an organized group.
Yeah.
Where the police and fire and emergency management are doing their job at that time. They don't have time to go.
Yeah, they don't have time to go to Walmart,
to do this kind of thing. So an organization like you that can raise a little bit of money and to help bring them, gloves, and I know a lot of the tornadoes they need gloves.
Yes. Gloves, trash bags, all kinds of things you wouldn't think about.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing. We've done a lot of research on it, and we've gone back in history and looked at what have people needed the most after these sorts of things, and it's not always what you think it is. Like trash bags, I hadn't even thought about that, but if you think about it, it makes sense. They're picking up their stuff, things that they've lost, things that they can salvage, and they can't just put it, on the ground. They need something to put it in. We even take donated clothes, like old clothes and stuff, because fires, right? When your house burns down, it's not like a tornado where you can go find your stuff.
You have nothing. Well, this is pretty interesting. So how does anyone reach out to you for help or to donate or anything like that?
So we have a Facebook page.
Okay.
And on that Facebook page, our website is linked in the bio.
Okay.
It's actually a brand new one, so all of the things you have to go through that
portal to
website.
get
Yeah.
there. Okay.
But it's really cool. It's brand new, actually. We just figured out how to get that all set up. There's a donation page, and then we also sell T-shirts, hoodies. We just dropped the Hurricane series, which is the blue version of these.
Okay.
And they also feature the eye of the hurricane in the background.
Cool.
So they're pretty neat. And those, again, they're made by a local fireman's wife. She's super, super cool. She's been doing this for many, many years.
Keeping it local.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
So all of the funds that we raise from that goes directly back in. All of the donations that we get goes directly back in. It helps us pay for gas, to be able to get to these places. We even donate some of our own money when we need to, because I love what I do, and my best friend loves what she does, and my family has been very, very supportive. In fact, they were vital in me becoming the person that I am today. They taught me to love others before myself, and so they're pretty incredible for that. And it just doesn't get better than Oklahoma. I know a lot of people hate on it all the time. It's flat and
but there's this thing called the Oklahoma Standard that
Exactly.
started with the Murrah building bombing that I was a big part of, and even I've heard in other parts of the country that this is based on the Oklahoma Standard. So that's impressive to know that, and you're a big part of helping make that happen. So what's the name of your Facebook page?
So it is exactly what our name is. Look up Team Interceptor OK Natural Disaster Response Unit.
Okay.
We're the red and black one, not the blue and gray one.
Okay.
Those guys are storm chasers from Michigan.
Gotcha. Okay.
And again, while we storm spot, that's not our main function, but we do help with some of that as well. And it's fun. It's a little scary at times, but it's very, very cool. And I would highly suggest that anybody who lives in Oklahoma, the Weather Service, they do storm spotter classes for free, and you can do them in person or online, and they're super, super informational.
Nothing
I
else
love
that helps
them.
you understand
Exactly.
what the weather guys are talking about.
Yes,
Sure.
yes. My mom teases me all the time for it, but if she would take one, she would know. But yeah, they're really, really cool. And so that's what we do. That is Team Interceptor. We're just a group of regular, everyday people. Actually, a two-man team of everyday people, just like you and me, that we just care enough to try and help other people. And we just want to thank you guys for having us on your show. This was huge for us.
Well,
we very much appreciate it.
We appreciate good stories and good people, and you fit that. So awesome. All right, so be sure to check out their Facebook page. Nikita, thank you for coming today and telling us your story.
Absolutely.
And anything you can do to help these guys, that would be greatly appreciated. Stay tuned.